Hey, this is Retired Geek Woman, and this is Stardew Valley overview, initial gameplay, and a review. Stardew Valley is to put it in a short sentence, it's a farming simulation game. But it is so much more than that. I mean, yes, there's farming involved, and you're a farmer, but it is way more than that. There's a town and quests and all kinds of things that you can do, but it's a very relaxed game to play. It's what I play when I'm wanting no challenges. I don't want to be killing dragons in Skyrim or any of the other higher end games that I play. This is one of the games I use to recharge, and I love it. I think on my Steam account, it is my second most played game. I'm not looking at it right now, but it seems to me I've played over 800 hours of Stardew Valley, and I can't thank my son enough for telling me about it because I'd never heard of it before. So as I mentioned, the premise is that you're a farmer, and I will not be showing you the introduction, what happens after you create your character. Basically, you are working in a big corporation, and it's a cube farm, and you're very unhappy, and your grandfather had passed away and leaves you a note and tells you that he has left you his farm. And you get to, here, as you can see, you get to create your character. There's quite a few choices here. You can play male or female. You can choose the skin color, the hair color, and the starting out shirts and pants, both the type and style, and the colors of your pants, and the colors of your eyes, and the colors of your hair. There's also accessories such as glasses, and you get to name your character. You get to name your farm. Notice that it says farm after where the little box is. So whatever word you put in there, it'll say farm after it. So then you can also put a favorite thing. And depending upon a favorite thing, you might have certain things happen based on that. And there's all kinds of things you can put that would make things happen. I will leave that to you to find out. There on the side, you can see that there's six or seven? There's 7 different farm layouts to choose from. And you can look at those yourself. The very top one is called the standard farm, and it is basically a big square plot of land. The other ones have a beach or mountains or rivers. One of them allows creatures to attack your farm at night. So there's a lot of different types of farms to play. So far, the one that I like the most is the standard farm, and that is because my choice for farm, or the way that I play has to do with my goals. My goal is to have a fully functioning, fully self-sustaining farm, and the standard farm, in my opinion, is the easiest one to do that on. Once you create your character, then you hit the OK button, and after there has been a cutscene that I didn't show you, you wake up at 6 a.m. on the first day of spring at your farm. There's a little box there, and it has a gift from Lewis, I think it's Mayor Lewis, of 15 parsnip seeds to get you started. And it shows that you have a couple of quests here. One, you need to meet 28 people in the town, and the other one is you need to plant and harvest a parsnip. It could be one. You don't have to plant 15, but you might as well. Every day you should check your TV. It has a weather report for the following day, and it tells you if it's going to rain or not tomorrow. And tomorrow, in this case, it's going to be a beautiful day. Fortune teller lets you know what your luck is for the day. There's different mines you can go in, and if the spirits are really happy, then you have better luck in mining. If they are not happy, you have bad luck. And there's also like a tip of the day, and you want to double check that each day just to learn tips, especially if you've never played before. So your little one-room shack, you walk outside. You also see this is a little bit of a tutorial. It tells you whatever device you're playing on, what keys to use to move around. And you have tools to kind of clean up this insane mess that you have. I mean, it's covered with grass, rocks, fallen logs, pieces of stone, big trees. And so you can use the various tools there to, like a pickaxe is going to get rid of the stones, a scythe is going to get rid of the weeds, and there's an axe for chopping the wood and the trees down and kind of clean up an area that you are going to plant your first crops. Notice that there's a E and a little bar right there. That's your energy. And each day you only have so much energy to spend. And so you have to kind of manage your time and your activities based on that energy. Because once your energy runs out, you could pass out from exhaustion. So you want to make as much of your time as you can. So kind of manage that and watch that energy level. I just want to mention that I do not play the most efficient way. I mean, I've seen YouTube videos of how people can maximize your time to the, they've played this game a zillion times, and there's definitely ways to be more efficient with your time. I'm not the most efficient. I don't care. I just enjoy this game and enjoy reaching my goals, which is to achieve a fully functioning, fully self-sufficient farm. So there you can see, out of 15 parsnips, I did a 3 by 5 little square, and I planted my parsnips. And I also have to water them. Until you can create sprinklers, you have to water your crops, and you need to do it every day. You can see that when you water, the dirt underneath the seeds turns a darker brownish color. That means those have been watered. And you notice that you start off with 500 gold, that little G thing. I want to refill my water cans so I don't forget. You have a limited inventory at this point. So I looked at my inventory and say, okay, what do I want to spend my time and energy on next? And I decided that I want to craft a chest to put my extra resources in. That's what those are: the sap, the wood, the fiber, the stone. You're getting those resources from chopping trees and cleaning up weeds and breaking stones. So I don't want to have my inventory completely filled with all of that. And I know that if I have 50 wood, I can create a chest. And you can put this chest anywhere you want. I usually put it right by my front door when I first start. Later on in this video, I'm going to show you a farm that's been running for about 11 years. And you can see how I organize myself at that point. The crafting menu is just, you can see there, it looks like a hammer. And these are the things I can currently make. I want to make a chest, and then I'm going to place my chest. And I'm going to stick it here right by my front door, because just for ease of use. And that makes sense to me when I'm first starting off, because all the things I'm going to be putting in it are going to be my resources anyway that I'll be using to do whatever with. And so then I take a look and say, my little journal tells me what I need to do. I need to have to harvest a parsnip, and I need to meet 28 people total. So far I've only met 2. I had someone that met me there at the bus stop, and Mayor Lewis popped out of my house, and I don't think you saw that, because I think I cut all that out. But I had met 2 of the 28 people that I need to meet. I always like to run up here and see what I can gather. You can see that I picked up a leek and I think it's a daffodil. Those are foraged items that I picked up, and they can be used for gifts or for selling. And when you first start out, gold is such a premium there, so you want to do as much of that as possible with your time. I popped into the little place here to talk to Harvey. Harvey is the town doctor, and to see someone over a counter, to meet someone over a counter, you got to go behind. So I kind of popped in behind to meet Harvey. Harvey's one of my favorite characters in the town, and talking to him a couple of times gives you a little bit of he'll show up that he's somebody that I've met, and he counts towards my my 28. You can see now, instead of a question mark, it has his name there. So I've met Harvey, Robin, and Lewis so far, of the 28 people that I need to meet. And you can look and find out when their birthday is. There's lots of information here that you can look at. Once you've talked to them, it puts a little X there on the talk box. And when you give them a gift, then it'll put a little X under the gifts. I think you can give them 2 gifts a week, and it improves your relationship with them. And the goal is to reach maximum relation. One of the goals in the game is to reach maximum relationship with every single townsperson. And Harvey really liked that. He's like, see, there's a little X there where I gave him a gift, and it says he liked that gift. There's hated, liked, and loved gifts for each character. You can add mods where you can find that out easily, or you can go to the wiki, which I will put down in the description. There's a great wiki for this game that you can search for anyone's name. There's tons of information, but you can search and it will tell you what gifts they like. There's a bulletin board there that tells you what day it is. It's the first day of spring in year 1. There's also, it tells you when their birthdays are, and there's actually events that happen each month, little fun things that happen. You can also pick up little quests or tasks on the Help Wanted board. I just went into the market here, and I wanted to meet a few of the townspeople that are in here and introduce myself. And also wanted to meet Harvey, so I went behind the counter so that I could be able to say hello to him. He's the person that you can buy seeds from, and he also will be the person you come to when you have the money and you want to upgrade your backpack so that you're carrying more stuff with you. As you can see, he has his seeds there. Parsnips are the cheapest. What I'm trying to do is figure out, what I'm going to do with that 500. What's going to be the best thing to buy? The best thing to buy. I'm scrolling through and showing you some of the things later in the game that you could buy, including trees. Those are tree saplings. And for now, I want to pick up some cauliflower. You can, if you search the wiki, it will tell you that cauliflower is probably the most profitable item. So I'll pick up 5 or so of those. I also want to get a bean starter plant, and and of course you can see my gold is going way down there. What I'd like to do, one of my goals is to have one of every single plant available. And you can only buy certain seeds in certain seasons. So eventually I will come along here and pick up a little bit of everything so that I can plant everything. But in the beginning, you're really limited on your money. So kind of, pick and choose what I select there. And so I wanted to come on down here and kind of look there. You can look at the whole entire map. I'm sorry I didn't show you on this. But I wanted to come down to the beach area. On the beach, you can pick up scavenge things that are on the beach, and there's these little wiggly things. They're not only on the beach, but they're worms. And if you hit those worms, you can find things. In this case, I found an artifact, and it says to take it to the local museum. So when you find an artifact for the first time, it will tell you that. You can take it to the museum, and things happen when you do that. So we're going to run over there and do that. You can see that I picked up a cackle that I can sell. Again, I like to check the beach as regularly as possible. There's also this broken wooden bridge over here, and it tells me if for 300 pieces of wood, I can fix the bridge. You want to do that as soon as possible because you can make a lot of money picking up things on the other side over there. Going back up north here and off to the right, we're going to go see a couple of people. There is 2 different places we can visit. One is the museum where Gunther is, and that's what it told us to do, go see Gunther, to take Gunther an artifact. And Gunther, it has new journal entries here when we walk in. There is a cut scene here, and I'm going to skip that. You can see that for yourself when you play. But Gunther basically tells you that you can donate items to the museum. And when you find one that needs to be donated, it tells you, it gives you a message and say, hey, bring it to Gunther. And you take it to Gunther, and when you do the very first one, Gunther gonna give me 250 gold for my first donation. He won't give you something for every donation, but he will give you some, as you progress and give X number of ones, then he will give you something for it. It could be gold, it could be something special. There's also books that are be sitting on the top of the shelves, and they'll have a little arrow on it. You read these books to get tips, and when you read them, then they go away. So this is the museum in Gunther. You'll be coming here a lot. And then the other person that you can talk to right above the museum is Clint. Clint is the blacksmith, and you can come see Clint to upgrade your tools. Right now I'm just saying hi to him because I want to make sure that I've met him, and he tells you he can upgrade your tools. You need to be careful about upgrading those tools to make sure you don't need them for a couple of days. He'll send you a message when they're ready. So basically I just kind of ran around town and met as many people that were out and about. There are children and just all kinds of people that you can meet. Again, there's 28 of them, and you get a reward of some kind when you've met all 28 people in town. And while that sounds really easy, it's not always so easy. I wanted to say hello again to Harvey. Harvey is usually, you can choose a spouse after you get the relationship up. On your people list, it showed the single people. All of those people are eligible to be spouses if you want to have one, but you have to get the relationship up to a certain level to be able to do that. Coming up north a little bit, there's a little park here I wanted to show you. It's just a pretty good sized town that you can wander around in and do all kinds of stuff in. As you can see, I'm getting fiber for hitting the bushes, and fiber is something that I use a lot in the game. I noticed there's a little batch of fiber of weeds up here, and I'm getting quite a bit of fiber from those weeds. So I thought while I was here, since they replenished themselves after a while, I thought I'd go ahead and grab them. I already have 25 fiber on me just from walking around and doing that. This is the community center. It's currently locked, but after a few days, you'll get to go here and find out what you need to do. The community center is very important in the game, and so you'll be coming here a lot. And I'm not going to be showing that to you in this video because I don't get started on it. I only go through about 3 days or so, but I wanted to just show you around a little bit. Right up above there was a person who creates your different buildings. So the chicken, coops for your chickens and barns for the other animals. You have all kinds of animals that you can have, and you have to have the buildings to house them in. And that's where you would go to purchase those different buildings. And I'll show you those on my 11-year farm. You'll be able to see some of them. You see right there, my inventory was full when I hit that, but I want that clay, because that clay is very important. I'm thinking, okay, what do I have in my pack that I don't really need right now? And so, I'm sorry, it took me a minute to figure out. It's like, oh yeah, what do I need to do? Hit your inventory and take something and throw it in the trash. When I did that, it automatically let me pick up that clay. But my inventory is completely full right now. And I also saw, and there's another leek there. Those are nice to have. I also saw little Linus standing off to the side. Linus lives in a tent. He doesn't live in town. I like Linus, and I like making friends with him. He just has a little camp right there. Nice little old guy. And you can see that, as I mentioned to you, it doesn't tell very much about people until you've actually spoken to him. You can see the little hearts underneath, and it told me that I had spoken to him. So I started to give him a gift, but he went into his tent, and I don't even know if I can go in at this point. So I decided, you know what, let's head on home. There's 3 different ways to head home. One is from that direction, one is from the south, one is from the north. And you can see now it's 8 p.m. I had picked up a few extra seeds, so I thought, you know what, let's get these extra seeds planted. So I gave a little bit of space in between. It doesn't matter so much for the cauliflower, but the beans, you have to be careful because they grow on wooden poles, and you can't walk through them like you can the other crops and things. So I had to make sure that I left the room in between for them to grow and me to be able to walk through them and past them. You don't want to block yourself. And so I take the item that I wanted to sell and I toss it in the bin right there. That's one way you can easily sell items. I'm going to put the leeks and the fiber and the daffodils and the clay in my chest. And I'm looking at the time thinking, well, it's getting close to dark. I'm not sure what else I could do. I had a little bit of energy left, but I could have gone a little longer. Instead, I'm just going to go to bed. You go to bed by walking to your bed and you slide right in. anything that you put in your bin to sell overnight, it gives you the money for it. So I got 50 for, it was called fishing, but I had foraged that on the beach. It saved your game at that point overnight. You wake up at 6 a.m. the next morning. Right now I'm going to load up my game that has 11 in-game years. And there's a lot of goals and things I set for myself. You can see I've had other starts and things. That's the 21st day of spring, year 11. I have 8.6 million gold in my bank currently. And there's a lot of things that you need the gold for. As you can see, my house is much bigger. And I did that by talking to, is it Robin? I can't remember who's up there. I'm married to Harvey. I talk to Harvey every single day, just say a quick hello. It gives you a little kiss. And I also know that Harvey loves coffee. That's his favorite thing to have. So I have a little coffee machine there, and I give Harvey a cup every day. You can see that I've maxed out the relationships on every character in the game, every person in the game. And you can see the ones that were single have 2 extra hearts. If I was trying to make them a spouse, they would fill those in. But if I don't, then you can't. You can't get any higher than that. I have 10 skills. I've maxed all those skills out. I've got everything in my wallet that you can get, and those happen in various ways. And as you can see, this is a map of the entire area. Sorry, I kind of flashed through that really quick. This is the crafting menu of things I know how to make. I don't know, I haven't collected every fish in the game, and I haven't finished the game all of the way. And I can show you how you can find out how far you are. There's messages and secret notes that you find along the way, and those are always fun when you find one. And they tell you things like where to find special treasure, and gives you tips and hints and all kinds of things. So I'm going to come out and just give you a quick walk around my farm. As you can see, there's this time of year, there's just all kinds of things growing, and there's lots of ways to get money and make money with these different machines and things that you'll learn along the way. I'm not going to go into that much detail in this overview. I have a little kitty cat, and I filled the kitty cat's water and give them a little pat, and they give you a love. I've got different buildings here, which I'll talk about in a minute. I want to show you my animals real quick. That's a greenhouse. It's part of the, you have to finish the community center, part of the community center to get that. And every day you need to pet your animals. So I come down here and I right click on them all, and you can see it gives a little heart that tells me they've been petted for the day. And I currently have lots of goats, 1 cow. I have ducks and dinosaurs. I love my little dinosaurs. And each of these animals give you different things. So, for instance, I have duck mayonnaise that I have produced, and the dinosaurs have gave me a new dinosaur egg. And so there's different machines in here. I'm currently incubating a dinosaur or something. I'm not sure. You incubate other animals. You start with them and then you incubate them. You can see that I have goat cheese. Goat cheese, if you put it in your cellar, is a very high valued item. And so what I do is I take the milk that I've gathered and I put it in those press, and I'm going to make some more goat cheese. And I collected some that they gave me and put it back in the chest. Again, that's another use for chests, is to make things convenient for yourself. You can also decorate these barns and the coops. You can see my animals are behind fences, and that's to keep them from wandering around. I put grass here. As you can see, there's silos there, and the silos hold hay for the animals, and then I have a thing that automatically fills the benches back there with the hay for them to eat. In my other barn, I have ostriches. Ostriches is an add-on that you can get, Ginger Island is an add-on you can get, and it added ostriches to the game. And oops, I broke my fence when I walked through there, so I fixed it real quick. So I run around and pet them as well. Ostrich also give ostrich eggs. Ostrich eggs could be put in the little machine there, and it gives you mayonnaise. I like the ostriches for a couple reasons. Their eggs, for instance, if you put them in that little machine there, each egg gives you 10 mayonnaise, which is great for selling. So I collected an extra egg and put it in my chest there. You can also name all of your animals, and I had a blast naming my animals. I actually Googled ostrich animal names to be able to come up with some, because I'm not the most creative person, but I sure had fun. You can have little ponds, and right here I have sea cucumbers that I put in a pond. I also am propagating coral because I use a lot of it, and so I'm propagating it myself because I needed it. You can see the little hut there. They're little creatures called jujunos. Is that what they're called? And they actually harvest all my crops for me. So I have sprinklers to water, and I have the little huts there where they actually harvest for me. So I don't have to do that. All I have to do is the beginning of each season, or beginning of each season, I plant my entire field, usually in one day, and then it gets watered and harvested. Whenever things are fully grown, I go back and plant more, and they take care of it for me. So I love those. These little sheds can be used for different things. In this particular one, I make jams and jellies and the rows that I use to sell. In the basement, I have these kegs down here that I am making wine, or aging wine and goat cheese. That is a huge money maker down in that basement. I placed all those down there myself. Your basement is empty when you first start. As you can see, my house is pretty good size. I have 2 little children. All you can do with them is run around and give them a little bit of love, but they're really neat and they add to ambiance in the game. I'm just kind of giving you a quick view. I placed every item in these rooms myself, a fish tank, and I put all the fish that I wanted in that fish tank. There's Harvey checking out my plant room up there. Again, I can't take credit for these decorations because I snagged the ideas from other people that I looked at their farms and went, oh, those are pretty cool looking farms. So again, I mentioned in the wiki is where I got all the information that I basically know about this game. I have a wine thing that's making wine back there. And so I want to come back over here and show you these things over here that let me travel around the game. It lets me fast travel around, and they go to different locations. The one I happened to click on was the mountain, and I didn't mean to do that, but I have a scepter, that purple thing on my bar there. That scepter takes me right back to my front door immediately. So after a while, you have faster ways of getting around. What I'm trying to do is take you to Ginger Island, which is an add-on that got added just last year, I think it was. And it has all different new things that you can do. For instance, you'll have a little tiny farmhouse, and you can plant crops year-round. In this part of the game that I'm currently on, you can only have crops 3 seasons. In the winter, you can't plant. But on Ginger Island, you can. You can have crops year-round. So it gives you a place to have some more crops, and I have select things here depending upon some goals that I'm trying to achieve. There's a little beach here that you can scavenge things from. There's extra quests that came about as part of this addition to the game, so I'll let you explore those on your own, but a lot of really fun and interesting and different things that you can do. I intended to get those worms, and I put the hoe up there, but I forgot to select it, and my scepter was selected, so instead it took me back home. But that's okay. That gives you kind of an overview of what it looks like. I'm going to give you some actual screenshots that you can take in game so that you can see what things look like. Again, those are my saves. You can have different saves, and that was the one from 11 year down the road. So what I'm going to do next, I show you there's a perfection tracker, that part of the Ginger Island stuff. At the time that I took the screenshot, I had completed only 50% of the game, and I was so happy to find that out. It's like, this is so cool that I have 50% more to go. This is my farm after 10 or 11 years. And again, I really can't take credit for this design. It was borrowed from many different designs that I had looked at. And after I had done all of this, they made some more additions to the game where you can actually move some things around that you couldn't move around before. So you're more than welcome to check the wiki on all that. There's lots to read, and I'll put a couple of links for you, both the main page and the wiki. But you can see how this is how I've done it. And I like my animals to eat fresh grass, so I make sure that I plant that for them. And also I have places where I grow grass that I am able to harvest it. You can see this is the entirety of my house. Remember when we started in one little room that had just a little bed in it and a TV and a little rug and a fireplace, and this is my vision of what mine looks like now. And I've put everything that's in here. I've placed everything, including the wallpaper and all kinds of different things that I decided to make my house more comfortable for me. Again, there's many options for your own cabin. Well, there you have an overview of Stardew Valley. And as far as my review, I absolutely love this game. It's so relaxing. It has so much interesting things that happen and surprises, and you can play it methodically, you can play it fast, you can play it slow, you can play it for a gazillion years. There's just so much here, and it's so well done, and it's done by one person. And for $15, I felt like it was really worth supporting a single developer that created this game. I'm going to put links below that I mentioned the wiki. It has just about everything that you would need to be able to play a game more efficiently, or just to I look up things all the time. And again, there's a wiki and there's also the main page, and I'll give you the links to all of that. Thank you for watching this through to the end. Please subscribe to my channel if you already haven't. Most importantly, I hope that you have a good rest of your day.